Silo returns with a Season 3 premiere that spends most of its runtime circling the same question the Silo's leadership keeps putting to Juliette. What do you actually remember? By the closing minutes, it's clear the answer matters a lot more than anyone in charge is letting on. Season 2 ended with Juliette, Rebecca Ferguson, and Bernard, Tim Robbins, trapped together in the Silo's incinerator chamber as the doors sealed and the flames closed in. The finale also dropped a huge curveball in its final minutes with a flashback to Washington, D.C., centuries earlier, where journalist Helen Drew, Jessica Henwick, grills freshman Congressman Daniel Keene, Ashley Zuckerman, about a dirty bomb attack the government is pinning on Iran. Before he brushes her off, he gifts her a Duck Pez dispenser, which is the exact same relic that later turns up in Silo 18. Season 3 premiered its first episode, Who Are You?, on Apple TV Plus this Friday, July 3rd, 2026, kicking off a 10-episode run that'll drop one new episode every Friday through the finale on September 4th. After a year-and-a-half wait since the Season 2 finale, it's wild to have new Silo back in the rotation. And if this premiere is any indication, the wait was worth it. We pick up roughly 3 months after that fiery Season 2 finale cliffhanger. Juliette is mayor now, but she's also a ghost of herself. She can't remember anything from before the incinerator. At one point, it's genuinely unclear if she even remembers whether she likes mushroom soup. She hates it in actuality. What makes it worse is how everyone around her has turned that into an opportunity. Camille Sims, Alexandria Riley, is glued to her constantly, calming her down in a way that felt pretty much like conditioning. Meanwhile, the Silo's population has turned Juliette into a messiah figure to the point her old childhood toys are being treated like relics by people now. The episode's present-day spine is the Silo's first council meeting since Bernard's death, or, well, his death. Robert Sims, Common, tells the room a lot has changed in 3 months. The pact is being rewritten. There's now a rep from every department on the council, and most of the surveillance cameras have supposedly been pulled out of the Silo. Sounds like progress on paper, except we, the audience, know better. Sims tells Juliette that Bernard died from his burns and poisoning after the incinerator, but flashbacks show us Bernard actually survived the fire, and Sims is the one who killed him. That's a serious gut punch reveal, and it's pretty clear Camille and Sims are on the same page about what they are keeping from Juliette and the people of the Silo. He also asks her why she had apparently held his wife and son at gunpoint, and she has nothing to say. Meanwhile, the cracks in the new regime are already showing. Lucas Kyle, Avi Nash, is missing. A masked group of outsiders, apparently followers of Patrick Kennedy, the relics dealer, attack and vanish before anyone can catch them. Orla of Supply tries to pull Juliette aside to warn her that supplies have been going missing from the Silo, but gets cut off before she can finish. And somewhere up top, Kennedy's people hang a banner reading, "This is the truth." The display is a lie, with a picture of green, lush scenery outside. Juliette's old friends in Mechanical, understandably, are not thrilled that their hero doesn't remember any of them. The episode notably jumps between the two timelines back to the pre-collapse past to pick up the two characters Silo dropped on us in that Season 2 finale stinger, journalist Helen Drew and freshman Congressman Daniel Keene, who in that scene met on an awkward blind date that turned into her grilling him about a dirty bomb attack the U.S. was blaming on Iran. Episode 1 has us meet Daniel's sister Charlotte Keene, Jessica Brown Findley, a Navy aviator. She comes to him asking about his date with Helen and asks him to use his position to get himself on Senator Thurman's Iran committee, who recruits Daniel into the Silo project down the line in the books. Given how cagey everyone in this timeline is about Iran, it does not feel like a good sign. He also happens to be the guy behind a new drilling technology that can bore tunnels without disturbing the soil above, which, if you've been paying attention to this show's whole, Who Built the Silo's mystery, is about as loud a Chekhov's drill as you can get. The sequence where Charlotte's squadron flies into a strange cloud at 50,000 feet, one that isn't supposed to be there, was easily the episode's biggest "what did I just watch?" moment. The jets malfunction and break apart, and the wreckage seems to melt and merge together in this uncanny, almost otherworldly way. It's genuinely eerie, and it doesn't get explained. It's only episode 1, who are we kidding? We later learn Charlotte survived, rescued near Turkmenistan, but when Daniel finally reaches her at a facility in Fairfax, she's suffered a traumatic brain injury and doesn't recognize her own brother. Daniel is the show's version of Donald Keene from Hugh Howey's Shift, the congressman who gets pulled into building the Silo system without fully understanding what he's signing up for. If the show follows that path, this cozy brother-sister scene is going to look a lot more painful in hindsight. There has been something very wrong about Camille and how she has been acting, evident from the teaser release itself. When Juliette starts having flickers of memory that contradict the story Camille has been feeding her, including a growing suspicion that she went to another Silo, something nobody currently around her is supposed to know, Camille, for what feels like the 10th time, shows her proof, fabricated suit cam footage. The clip claims to show that Juliette left the Silo, hid in a refuge hut, and came back once she'd recovered. And don't get me started with her "thank the founders" line that honestly creeps me out every time. Then we get the real reveal, Camille checking in with the algorithm, reassuring it that Juliette has accepted the refuge hut story and is less agitated. The algorithm isn't convinced and says that it's worried Juliette's real memories are resurfacing, and it orders Camille to double her dosage of whatever's in those vitamins we saw Camille administering at the top of the episode. So yeah, Juliette is being drugged into believing the lie. And then, in the final sequence of the episode, Juliette finds a capsule hidden in her bowl of dinner chowder. Inside is a note. Want to know the truth? Leave your bowl upside down. Go to the marketplace. She's told to burn it after reading, and she does that. I was sold on this show back in season 1. But this premiere might be the most paranoid, tightly wound silo has ever been. We're so used to this show being about not knowing what's outside the silo that I'm happy to be dealing with the split timeline story for now. Camille's slow-drip gaslighting of Juliette is one of the many disturbing things the show has done. And Sim's cover-up of Bernard's real death means there are some really serious things they are keeping from everyone. If that chowder note is any indication, episode 2 is going to move fast. We are totally hooked and can't wait to see who's waiting for Juliette at that marketplace.